I want another perspective from a guy who has been working this for got to be 25 years. I used to have him on the O'Reilly Factor, and now I've had him on the No Spin News a number of times. Stephen Camarota is the director of research for the Center for Immigration Studies. Okay, Border Patrol Union says, good bill, we ought to sign this bill, we need this bill. You say?
I can't speak for them, but it doesn't seem like the bill does the things that we need. It has all kinds of other things that are kind of a Democratic wish list. And I'm not just talking about Ukraine. I'm talking about other things like increasing green cards. But it also puts into legislation and law policies of the Biden administration that have greatly accelerated illegal immigration. So it seems very counterproductive, but I'm assuming what they like is, more resources for the Border Patrol. It's more spending, more hiring, that kind of thing. And bureaucracies usually favor that, regardless of the underlying policy. And that may be what's going on here. Again,
well, the thinking is this is better than the chaos we have now. Anything is better. That's the thinking. Did you read the bill, Steve?
I have reviewed the bill and spoken to people who are attorneys who've gone through it piece by piece. Okay. So I've read big sections of it. So, in
your opinion, and we got to keep this simple because people can't possibly understand 370 pages of bureaucratic, what is the most egregious part of the bill to you?
Well, it's extraneous stuff. Why would you give out a whole bunch more green cards? What does that have to do with the border? Why do you allow a policy that's being, here's a great irony, there's a policy that's being challenged by 20 attorney generals that is letting what are called asylum officers, who often are not lawyers or anything, basically grant asylum. This is a new thing the Biden administration essentially created, including the attorney generals who are challenging it are from Oklahoma, where Senator Langsford's from, and also from Kentucky, where the majority leader is from, the minority leader's from. So we have a situation where literally they're putting into law a policy that is being challenged in court because it's making it so easy to get asylum in it. But probably the most egregious thing is the stuff that everyone's focused on. The border doesn't, quote, get shut down until we get a consistent day after day, like a week, of 5,000 new border encounters. So in other words, we have to get up to the record and then we, quote, shut it down. But keep in mind that that doesn't even happen, because even when it's shut down, and remember, the president doesn't have to shut it down, but he can if he wants, we're still supposed to process 1,400 illegal immigrants and release them presumably into the United States. So we don't have there's a thing called expedited removal. Let you send people back quick. We have a requirement for, say, asylum applicants to be detained. That's being ignored. So we're not using expedited removal. We're not going to be sending people back quickly. We're not going to detain them. As you point out, we had this sound policy, remain in Mexico. We got rid of that. We got rid of the migration agreements we had with sending countries. So what this essentially is kind of, look, here's the thing about the Democrats, and this is not a mischaracterization or a caricature. Their position is everyone in the developing world has the right to apply for asylum in the United States. And if the system is overwhelmed, they should be released into the United States. Right. Now, just so you know.
That's certainly the Biden administration say.
That's the position.
But in the bill, let me play devil's advocate. There are new provisions for getting asylum. And they are, you got to prove that you couldn't move to another part of your own country for safety. You got to prove that you couldn't go to another country, which they can't because they're all marching through Mexico. You're already in another country. So it makes it harder, at least that's what it says in the bill, to get asylum once you get a hearing in the United States, which could be anywhere from 3 to 8 years. And that's not going to lessen, even if they put in more people to adjudicate it. This is just too many right now. But
two quick
in the
points.
bill, it tightens up what the qualifications for asylum are.
Those provisions are already in the law. You can take into account as an immigration judge whether the person could relocate in their own country. You can, but they're not doing it.
No.
The other thing is you already have it in the law that if a person travels through a safe third country like Mexico and then comes here, they're really country shopping. They're not fleeing for their lives. And remember, that's what asylum is supposed to be. So
Right.
there's no reason to believe that the Biden administration would implement something that's already in the books, even if the wording has slightly changed. They still want to let asylum officers play a role in this system of granting asylum, something that's never happened. They were only supposed to be there to weed folks out. In other words, we have all the provisions, or most provisions are already on the books, and they're not being enforced. There's no reason to think that saying them again, in effect, would have that much effect. And remember,
Sure, if they're not going to be enforced, and under a Democrat administration, whether it's Biden or Michelle Obama or whoever, the word is going to go out, let them in. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.